Angels Care Home Health, serving Hayes and the surrounding areas, is a Medicare-certified home health agency providing quality skilled nursing and restorative therapy services to patients in their homes.
I would recommend Angel Care to anybody. They have really helped me regain my strength.
Angels Care is there to help 24 hours a day, and all services are covered 100% by Medicare for patients who are eligible. Angels Care Home Health. We serve patients.
I couldn't have survived this without Angels Care.
Eagle Community Television presents Community Connection with your host, Mike Cooper.
Hello and welcome again to Community Connection from Eagle Community Television. Thanks for watching. Thanks to our producer, Jeff Durall. We're at Rarick Hall on the campus of Fort Hays State University, second floor, which is home to the Department of Leadership Studies and the Center for Civic Leadership. And our guest is Dr. Jill Arensdorf, the chair and Associate Professor of Leadership Studies at Fort Hays State University. We're visiting with Dr. Arensdorf because there is a new program that's being introduced at Fort Hays State we wanted to make you aware of. It's called the Value Program, an acronym which stands for the Voss Advanced Leadership Undergraduate Experience, the Value Program at Fort Hays State University. Dr. Arensdorf, let's begin, if we could, with a definition of the Value Program.
Sure. Well, as you said, that acronym stands for the Voss Advanced Leadership Undergraduate Experience, and we're thrilled to be kicking off that program this fall with a cohort of 10 students. The program itself was developed in order to augment what we're already doing in our program here at Fort Hays State University, to give students an opportunity to further expand and explore their collaborations and operations skills. And so they're going to have the opportunity to do that through choosing a track, either a corporate track, a civic track, or a scholarship/research track, and spend the next academic year really exploring and delving into a project within that track. They'll be afforded mentors within their track outside of the institution that will give them a real intense and unique experience. They'll have an opportunity to do either internships or serviceships within that track to really explore and figure out what it means to be a civic leader, or what it means to be a corporate leader, or what it means to do research on leadership. They'll also be afforded opportunities to travel to conferences and present their findings. And they'll be given an opportunity to just really experience leadership at a deeper level than other traditional students do at Fort Hays State.
Another amazing opportunity at Fort Hays State University.
It is.
Which I guess came about, Dr. Arensdorf, from seed money that was provided by the Voss family.
Mm-hmm. We are so thankful for the support of the Omer Voss family. Omer and Annabelle were gracious enough to endow a professorship in leadership studies about 8 years ago now. And Omer Sr. passed away a few years ago, and his son Hap, who was here this week to unveil this program, decided that he wanted to leave a little bit more of a legacy with his family here at Fort Hays State, and so came to us and said, what can we do to augment your program? And we came up with Value, and he is so excited about it. We're so thrilled to have his support and his family's support over the long-standing program at Fort Hays State.
And one of the outstanding professors here was actually the first of the distinguished professorships in the leadership study, Dr. Kurt Berger.
That's correct. That's correct. And Kurt still holds that endowed professorship role. He directs the Center for Civic Leadership, and he was very involved in the development of this partnership with the Voss family, as well as the Value Program creation.
Now, is he eventually going to turn that over to you, or is there going to be a coup in place? Or how might that work, Dr. Arensdorf?
well, you'll have to ask Dr. Brungard about that.
I guess that'll be in the future we'll talk about that.
That's right.
So the initial class, you introduced those members of the class to the public last week, as you mentioned, in presentation. And 10 students form that initial group, right?
That's right. We we wanted this first class to be a cohort of about 10 to 15 students because we wanted to really enrich their experience, and we felt like that would be a really ripe number to be able to do that. And so over the fall semester and early this spring semester, we collected applications from applicants, and we ended up with 10 students that have diverse backgrounds. Many of them are organizational leadership majors. We also have an informatics major, but all of these students are connected to leadership somehow by either courses or experiences that they've had at Fort Hays State. But they hail from all over. We've got students from Colorado, we've got students from Liberal, Kansas, we've got students from Dodge City, we have a student whose family now lives in North Carolina, Wichita, so the geographic location of these students is diverse.
Now, was this an application process on the part of the students then to apply for this?
Yes, they applied, and then we had a selection committee that looked over the applications and selected based on not so much the students' GPA. I mean, we looked at GPA, we looked at their coursework, but we wanted to see, did they really want to participate in the program? And if we saw a unique desire in that student, they were selected. And then they got to meet with HAP when the program was unveiled. They got to have lunch with him and visit a little bit more about why they chose value for their junior or senior year.
The selection committee, Dr. Arensdorf, must have looked at some kind of a spark, something in these young people that said this person is destined to be a leader.
Yeah, and our program philosophy is that anyone can do leadership. Now, people may have different strengths and skills to be able to do that, but that anyone can really do leadership. And so what we looked for in those applicants was that spark, that I want to be a part of this program, I want to be a part of this program as a leader, as a follower. I want to learn more about the leadership process, and I want to really delve into a deep experience to enhance my collaboration and what we call operations skills.
What year are these students in their education process?
Most of them are juniors this year. I think we have one sophomore, if I'm not mistaken, and so most of them will be either juniors or seniors next year as they go through the program. And while we preferred students be upper division students because they've maybe settled more into their major and settled more into their course experience or their experience here at Fort Hays, our requirement was they need to be passionate about leadership.
Now, is there a financial support for these young people?
Absolutely. So the students, one thing I failed to mention as I was describing the program is the students will also take 2 advanced courses as part of this program that will be taught by our faculty. And for those courses, they will receive a financial scholarship. They will also receive additional benefits like being able to travel to conferences, setting up those mentor roles. Some of those will require some additional expense, but the program, because of its tremendous funding, the students won't have to come up with those costs.
Dr. Arensdorf, you mentioned in your initial description of the program that there could be 3 separate areas, either corporate, perhaps civic leadership,
Correct.
or other leadership possibilities. Will the young people explore all 3 of these? How's that going to work?
Yeah, so this summer they will use what we call Blackboard. It's our course management system at Fort Hays State. We've set up almost a not a mock course, but a course where students can explore those tracks over the summer. And then when they come to campus in the fall, we'll hold an orientation day where they'll actually get to delve deeper into one of those areas and really decide, what would I like to spend the next year really learning more about? And so we're hoping that through their research this summer and through delving into those experiences over the fall semester, they'll learn possibly a career track for themselves. We feel like that mentor role is going to be very critical. Based on the track that a student chooses, they will have a mentor in that area. So for instance, if a student chooses the civic track, they will have a mentor that's working in a nonprofit or the civic leadership arena to really challenge them and probe them and give them opportunity to learn more about that track.
Amazing feedback that's going to be occurring in this program.
And one of the things that we're hearing from those 10 students that applied is that the mentoring was that was the piece that was most attractive to them about the program. They're of course excited about taking the courses and excited about the projects, but having that mentor and developing that relationship seems to be one of the features of the program that's going to be really powerful for the students.
Will this be an interactive program, or will it be face-to-face occasionally with the mentors? Of course, connecting at conferences and such, I would think would be some extraordinary opportunities.
Absolutely. We're hoping that the mentors can connect face-to-face with the students. We'll also provide opportunities for mentors to Skype and do phone mentoring, but we're hoping that at the very minimum that students can meet at least once or twice face-to-face with those mentors to develop that unique bond that occurs when you're having a face-to-face conversation with someone.
And as a professor, you're going to be working in the classroom with these students.
That's right. So Dr. Justin Greenleaf, one of our faculty members, will be teaching the course in the fall along with Kaylee Klaus. Kaylee's a GTA in our program, and they will be working with the students to help them learn what track they want to spend their time in. And then during the spring semester, I think I will be teaching the course. We haven't quite figured out those details to really help the students delve even deeper through some type of project that they'll take in that specific track.
Well, let's talk about Jill Arensdorf for just a moment. How did you wind up in leadership studies, Jill?
Well, I was fortunate enough to take some classes as an undergrad in leadership. And I found that I really loved that. I was afforded lots of opportunities to explore leadership throughout my high school and my college career. And I moved back here now almost 15 years ago to take a job with 4-H Youth Extension. And I enjoyed that job, but knew eventually I wanted to teach leadership at the college level, and had an opportunity to do that at Fort Hays State, and have been here now for 13 years and have just absolutely loved it.
It's a great atmosphere, isn't it?
It is. And to get to impact students' lives on a daily basis, there couldn't be a better, well, it doesn't even feel like a job, it's so good. And to get to work with colleagues across campus and to meet students literally from all over the world, because our program is reaching students here on our campus, but also we have lots of virtual students and many students in China that our program is reaching, and so we're really making an impact, and that makes me feel very proud to be a part of our department.
And leadership is needed worldwide.
It is, and our philosophy is that you can teach leadership, and that leadership is for all, as I mentioned before. And so regardless of whether that's being a stay-at-home parent or a nonprofit director or a CEO of a large corporation, all of those places need leadership. And so the skills that they're able to transfer and the learning they're able to transfer out of our courses and out of our programs is just exponential.
Dr. Arensdorf, you've touched on this on a couple of your comments, but in closing for our last couple of minutes, what do you see as benefits for students then at Fort Hays State?
In value or just leadership studies in general?
Both.
Okay. I think our program, as I mentioned before, provides a unique opportunity for students to be able to delve into leadership and use their specific career context as almost a learning laboratory, if you will. And so the way we teach our courses are highly interactive. The way that we teach leadership is accessible, that it's accessible to all, and we hope that students are able to transfer that into whatever they're doing in their life. And I think that's a huge benefit, because students can see that whether they're in our classes on campus, in our virtual environment, or even in our program in China. So that's a huge benefit.
And it's certainly one of those aspects of Fort Hays State University where the professors are definitely touching lives, as you indicated earlier, to send young people out in the world to be leaders, to be an important part of our overall society.
Yes, and we provide students opportunities to do that, but we also try to model that in our own lives as faculty. And you've visited with many of our faculty that are doing wonderful things all over our world with their service and their research. And so we hope that we're modeling leadership not only in the classroom, but in our community and civic lives as well. And so I hope students see that as a benefit.
There's no doubt about that, Dr. Arensdorf. Dr. Jill Arensdorf, who is Chair and Associate Professor of Leadership Studies at Fort Hays State University, the Value Program, our community connection.
Angels Care Home Health, serving Hayes and the surrounding areas, is a Medicare certified home health agency providing quality skilled nursing and restorative therapy services to patients in their homes.
There's not any words to describe their kindness.
Angels Care is there to help 24 hours a day, and all services are covered 100% by Medicare for patients who are eligible. Angels Care Home Health. We serve patients.
They saved my life.